My lord, we have an issue.
Gabriel, I told you not to disturb me during my Real Housewives show.
It's important, sir.
Okay, what is it?
Well, it seems your sheep have decided to pray atheism away, August 12th.
Can't we do nothing and say I work in mysterious ways again?
That would make the atheists look like they are right, sir.
Okay, fine. Time to put on a show. Some mood music, please. I, Yahweh, awesome God of everything, hereby use my power and money to make atheism disappear. Shazam! All right, it's done.
Sir? What's atheism?
Ha! See, it's like it never existed. Still got it. Still got the magic. Who's her daddy? Now I'm gonna celebrate with a mojito.
Atheism? What a dumbass.
I'm John Richards, President of Atheism UK, and I took a left at the Valley.
I know we shouldn't have to scream that we're atheists. You know, we don't have non-astrologers and all that. But with the religious people taking over the world, I mean, we can either speak up or be pushed into a corner.
I'm proud to be an atheist, a skeptic, a non-believer, an infidel, a heathen. I call it how I see it. I say it's ignorance and you just call it faith and unsubstantiated claims. That's something to be ashamed. I'm an atheist.
Coming at you from Scorch, BC, Alligator, Florida, and Big Pain, Texas, this is Left of the Valley 2.0. My name is Kevin, and some people age like fine wine. I'm more like milk, sour and chunky.
Yes.
Can confirm.
Joining me as usual is the team who thinks a stoner recommending something is highly recommended.
I agree. You're great this week. Perfect.
She noticed that dog food lid spelled backwards is dildo of God, Sabrina.
Awesome.
And he thinks an old cougar with a hearing aid is Def Leppard, Brett Lee.
Yeah, it is.
And he also likes a reverse exorcism. It's when the devil tells the priest to get out of the child's body. Benjamin.
Yeah. Wow.
Well done this week. I'm
Guys,
so impressed.
Welcome back. Hope you had a great week.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So this week we'll be talking to Steve Hill, who is a black Satanist.
That's so cool.
That's gonna be. It's not the first time we had a Satanist on the show, but a black guy on top of that. That's gonna be great. So that's gonna be in the second half of the show. But first, let's do our usual chit chat. Oh, you know what? Even before that, before the chit chat, because we have
Mail time.
Mail time.
We have mail.
Oh.
And this is from my listener. This is from Libin. He writes, "Hi," he says, "I'm an Indian, ex-Hindu, and an atheist. I heard your podcast with the ex-Hindu atheist, and the guy says it's not Hinduism. What that guy said, Hinduism or Brahmanism is one of the most ugliest and oppressive systems / ideologies you can find on the whole planet." Now, this guy obviously disagrees with Ravi, who came. Yeah. So he says, contrary to what the ex-Hindu said, Hinduism explicitly supports slavery than any other religion in the world. The things like caste system, slavery, and untouchability are not something bad happened over time. It is Hinduism. Hinduism is based upon caste system, and it is inherently anti-women. I am someone who has been studying Sanskrit and Hindu scripture for a long time. I've been delivering some talks and speeches on these subjects over the years in my regional language, Malayalam. I was like a religious leader in my childhood and adolescence. I'm not denying every word he said, but some of the core ideas. I'm a graduate in Sanskrit, specializing in Vandana. I can say for sure, and I can prove that it was not really Hinduism what he was talking about. So regards from Libid.
So are we going to have them come on the show with a little bit of a rebuttal?
I think it's not a bad idea.
I think that's what
down the road, maybe we'll have Libin or somebody, to do a part 2. And of course, just like every faith, there are some people that view it in a positive light, people view it in a negative light. Now, I'm not saying that Ravi was lying to us. I think Ravi was an honest guy. He was telling the truth about the way he saw the faith of Hinduism. And of course, we're all welcome of a different opinion on that particular faith. So that would be an interesting thing to do down the road.
Yeah,
It's
and
always
I
hard to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ben.
oh, and I get it as like a former Mormon, because there was a time after I stopped being Mormon where I would defend some things. There's some good aspects, right? There's some people that are doing good until eventually, sometimes when you do more deeper research, you find some things that are real terrible, and then you become a little bit more angry about it. Then you reach the point where I'm at now, where it's like, screw those people, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think a lot of people conflate the religion with the religious people. And there's good people in every faith, of course.
Agreed.
Sure.
And I'll even say there is some good in every faith as well. Right?
Sure. No,
I mean,
yeah.
There absolutely is some good and some bad. But the point is as a whole, is Hinduism a good thing for the world?
Yeah, and it's really hard to find that distinction between, the actual religion believing a thing and the way the religion has been used by governments throughout the world. So it's really difficult to kind of find that line.
I mean, religion is social control. Let's be real.
Yeah, let's be real. And also, you got to be careful with that, too, because a lot of people will use that as an excuse, saying, no, the Christianity is a great faith. It's just people have been using it badly. Not necessarily.
Right.
Big Christianity is a lot of evil shit, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true.
So we'll follow up with that, and who knows, maybe down the road we'll have another show on Hinduism.
Absolutely.
Okay, now to do the chit-chat. Guys, it's past August 12th. Did you feel any different?
No.
There was a
The prayer to end
the prayer to
atheism.
end atheism. There was this huge group on Facebook, the prayer to end atheism.
It was an event that was set up by some troll.
And I was expecting to wake up on the 12th of August and all of a sudden to believe in Jesus and to have all this love in my heart.
Did you all watch the video that I had posted a video to our group? And I don't think it's a troll. Honestly, I think the dude's genuine about it. Like he really because he was there and he was. I mean, he was like really disappointed that only atheists showed up in the comment section.
Do you think he was for real? Because I'm in a few, joke God groups on Facebook, and they said that they all think he was a troll.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
It's hard to tell these days.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
tough.
the funny thing about all this is I don't know if the guy was real or not, but there's a guy who basically his moniker on Facebook is called "Say No to Atheism."
That's who set up the
That's
event.
who set up- and he responded, "Guys, quote, guys, our prayers didn't work because atheists countered in mass with their own prayers. We need to regroup and try again."
And that was where they said that post itself was where the people in the group I was in were saying he's a troll. Yeah, right.
That's
there.
proof that he's a troll.
Because he said we prayed their prayer away.
Either he is a troll or he's completely oblivious to his own faith.
Yeah.
It's like, dude,
Atheists don't
Or to
pray.
what atheism is.
No. We are participating in atheist prayer right now.
That's probably what he would say.
I postulate that atheist podcasting is atheist prayer.
Oh,
And I
okay.
get that because a lot of people don't know the people that are down the fucking rabbit hole, but that's like most of the people that I existed with,
Really?
in my life. Yeah, and he seemed completely genuine as far as like the people that I know and grew up around.
How did we simple podcasters defeat the almighty creator of the universe that's omnipresent, omnipowerful, and omni-everything?
That's the thing.
How do we do
in mysterious ways? Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, but haven't you heard it's always the argument of, God wouldn't do such a thing because we have to choose it ourselves. Like, he can't just make us.
Free will. That's all they would say. Free will, bro. Free will.
That's such a weak argument.
It is.
Absolutely the weakest.
No, but it works. It's their perfect argument for them because they're like, God wants it this way. Dinosaurs' bones are only there because God was trying to confound you to make sure you have faith. There's always just some simple way out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the counter of the prayers would work very well if we had the equal numbers of Christians and atheists. That's not the case. We're quite the minority compared to them. So if your prayers, well, if you say one atheist prayer is going to counter one Christian prayer, then either all the Christians are not praying, or prayer
or Christian prayer has more power, or atheist prayer has more power,
or the people that did do the praying, there's something wrong in their lives, and they need to get that worked out.
I'm sure someone's going to work the angle that Satan somehow interfered in there, and that still doesn't work because how is Satan more powerful than your God?
Exactly.
But only
I love that argument. Man. Satan interfered. It's like God can't defeat Satan.
Exactly.
He did a cartwheel right in front of the laser, man.
It's not like Dr. Doom interfered with Reed Richards.
Yeah.
It's God versus Satan.
Yeah, and in their world, God always wins.
Yeah. I mean, I just love it.
Only in the end.
Stupid news about saying, when you pray, Satan has a headache. When you open your Bible, Satan faints. Well, apparently Satan can easily defeat your Christian prayer, according to this.
Right. He's gotten used to it out over the years, all the fainting and stuff. That was at first, but now he's kind of become acclimated.
He's building immunity.
Yeah.
The thing they don't know is that Satan is into S&M and he enjoys the pain.
Oh, yeah. He hangs from hooks on his spare time, like
exactly. He's like, oh yeah, another Bible headache. Fuck yeah. Oh.
And more serious.
So hard.
Did you guys see that a Pharaoh Khufu ship known as the Solar Bark was in the news? Now, this is a 45-meter long ship that was apparently destined to carry him in the afterlife. This is a big, big wooden boat they found. It made the trip from the Giza pyramids all the way to Cairo, I guess.
Wow.
To the Grand Egyptian Museum on a remote, essentially they had this big remote control platform and vehicle, and they load the barge, like complete reproduction, but it's so fragile, right? And the barge, I should say the remote control vehicles on loan from Belgium. It took 10 hours for them to drive 7.5 kilometers. 7.5 kilometers in miles would be 5 miles? 4 miles?
Roughly.
Those of us in the States appreciate you for that one, Kev.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Not far.
So this ship dates to the 4th dynasty, which is between 2613 BC to 2494 BC. The ship was found in 1954 in the Great Pyramid of Giza, which is a Khufu's pyramid. So they reconstruct the ship, but it's so fragile that they essentially had to put it, with styrofoam and everything, and just slowly parade down 4 or 5 miles down the road to the Grand Egyptian Museum. So that must have been a sight to see.
That's incredible. They had a big ass cooler, basically. It's a beach cooler.
45 yards long, right? That's how big the ship is, and it's all made out of wood.
45 yards for Canadians is what?
45 meters.
Really? A yard's a meter?
Close,
basically.
Yeah. Right, 3 feet, right? 3 feet in a yard?
3 feet is a meter, but 3 feet is a yard, I think. So it's like
close enough.
Really, yeah, it's like a small.
On this podcast, we only do exact measurements.
Give it to me in centimeters. Just do it.
Yeah, I was taught that weird
millimeters
down there.
Millimeters.
Yeah, a little bit in school. It was still kind of. When did we go metric actually?
I think it was always metric, and we went stupid. That's what happened.
No. I think it was in the 70s.
Because we still measure ourselves in feet and inches, and weigh ourselves in pounds in general as Canadians. But of course, on our licenses and whatnot.
But we don't do gallons.
No, not at all. We do liters, and we measure in kilometers. It's just, we're weird.
Oh yeah,
you buy it quick. I'm just
here down here. You buy a gallon of milk, but you buy a 2 liter of soda.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, we have metric measurements all over the place. Honestly,
April 1st, 1975.
No shit. Okay, good job.
On April Fool's Day.
It says actually right here, because put Google and it's a CBC. Anyway, the first thing that comes up, it says the shift from imperial to the metric system in Canada started 40 years ago on April 1st, 1975. No joke. All weather forecasts switched to Celsius.
Oh wow!
That was the first April Fool's prank.
No, but you know, they took the pill,
Lasts.
just bite down the pill, and that's it. So it's
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
No, we're
Anyway,
just waiting
there you go.
for
A
the
little
US
bit
to
of
eventually
history.
do it.
So not long before I was born, which would make sense why they were talking about it still in school, because of course our parents were still talking.
Let's
and
face it, the metric
improve.
system makes so much more sense.
It does.
I'm with
And
it.
It does. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on a base 10. Everything's on a base 10. See?
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of math, when you think geometry, you think about Greece, you know, and you think of Pythagoras, for example, you know, who lived in the 570 BC, right?
Oh yes, I've heard this.
It turns out that scientists found a clay tablet dating 1,000 years before Pythagoras, suggesting that the Babylonians actually used applied geometry. And this would be
math is cool, people.
between 1900 to 1600 BCE.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
The tablet was used to delineate land boundaries, and the Greek used trigonometry to study astronomy, but apparently the Babylonians used trigonometry to more calculate areas, especially when it came to ownership of land, because the land is not always in a nice, perfect square, right?
Right.
So that was pretty cool.
So can we just like point out here that math predates Christianity?
Oh yeah,
It does.
for sure.
It does.
Yeah, Jesus
kinda
didn't
cool.
invent numbers, did not.
No, science existed before Jesus.
It turns also that
Holy
Babylonians
shit.
also used a base 60 in their calculation.
Interesting.
So that was interesting as well. So it's pretty cool to discover these things. Of course, you have to somewhat rewrite a bit of history when you do these discoveries. So it turns out Pythagoras, I guess, was not the one who came up with trigonometry.
There you
Yeah,
go.
but it's his now. We're not calling it anything else.
Yeah, it's still going to be the Pythagorean.
I mean, yeah.
We're not calling it the Babylonian theory. Like that doesn't even have the same ring.
No,
It
I
doesn't
have
sound as serious.
It's kind of like if Screech Powers was like in any other show or movie
Yeah.
or anything. He's stuck as Screech. Sorry, man.
He'll be
You're
Screech
done.
forever.
Like, yeah.
Do you know who we're talking
Too
about?
late.
Yeah, is that the Saved by the Bell guy?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I never watched it.
Of course not. You're from Quebec. They probably blocked it or something. All the fun stuff.
I was
blocked
raised in
there.
Quebec, but Saved by the Bell was not a thing. It just wasn't a thing.
Yes, it was.
No,
Yeah.
Well, it was
So
a thing
good.
here.
yeah, well,
Best
Yeah,
show
I think
ever.
just
It wasn't
speaking
here.
people.
It's like the only thing I was allowed to watch growing up that was
Really?
Christian.
They talked
Yeah.
about drugs on that show.
Have you
But
watched?
they were bad.
They were caffeine pills, and Jessie was taking them. They were. She was all jacked up on caffeine pills, and it was Jessie taking them.
So she could keep her straight A's.
That's it.
Right.
Which is an actual problem with like anyway.
Absolutely.
Okay, if you have the time, look up Zach Morris's trash. It basically points out what a trash person Zach Morris is. It's just these little short videos. It's amazing.
I mean,
Okay.
that's pretty
One day.
obvious, I think, throughout the show.
Zach
But,
Morris was
yeah.
trash.
He was a bad
But all the
person.
girls wanted him.
I still have no idea what you.
We finally shut Kevin up.
Success.
We
Anyway,
figured it out.
moving on.
Saved by the Bell references, y'all. From now
yeah,
on. No,
that's
I'm
it.
just kidding.
In political news,
Oh gosh.
as Canada and US are leaving Afghanistan, translators and their families who helped during the war and helped the West during the war are very afraid to be left behind.
I bet.
Because now the Taliban is actually, like about the vacuum that this is creating, the Taliban's moving back in and moving back in really quick too.
Like hard. Yeah.
Canada just announced plans to resettle 20,000 Afghans to protect them from the Taliban.
See,
Nice.
Canada doesn't.
Canada's
kick in.
actually stepping up to the plate on this.
I'm not surprised.
I don't know what the states are doing at this point.
Nothing.
Nothing.
They're focusing on women, human rights fighters, the LGBT, and reporters, and of course the translators that help the soldiers as well during the war.
Good. Go Canada, go as usual.
Right now, as
Yeah.
we're talking and recording this, the Taliban has seized the second and third biggest cities of the country. So yeah, so essentially, as we're moving now, the Taliban is just going to go right back in the way they was.
So to make a little bit of light of this situation, we have a federal election coming up. So let's make sure we
Did they make the
all.
announcement yet?
Yes, they did. It's official today. So just know that if you vote conservative, you might be voting to not allow these people in the country. So do not vote conservative. Aaron O'Toole is just that, a tool.
Oh, cool.
Benjamin, I have no idea.
No,
what
they
you're
have
talking
no
about.
clue what we're
But that's
talking about, but
okay.
that's okay. And we won't be doing a bunch of Canadian politics because it really is kind of boring.
I read an article. The headline:
You know, if you're going to vote anyway, I just don't vote conservative. I don't give a flying fuck
Canada.
where on the left you vote.
Yeah, I go to newsarticles.ca all the time.
That's like Canada. That's a country with the snow, right?
Yeah. And the nice people who say sorry all the time.
They like syrup or something. I don't know.
Yes, lots of maple syrup.
Sabrina, you got a petty top 10 for us?
Well, maybe.
Wow.
What do you mean a petty top 10?
It's tradition now.
Is it? Okay. It kind of is. And it's really quick because this one's, I wanted to make it a little bit short and I was really busy this week. So
Fair enough.
this week I have the top 10 petty breakup lines.
Ooh.
You know,
Oh, fun.
what would you say if they had breakup lines instead of pickup lines?
Okay. Why do I feel that some of these lines?
I mean, they have breakup songs if you want to.
Yeah, these ones are better though. So
Okay.
number 10, raise your hand if you're in a relationship. Oh, not so fast.
Don't raise your hand, you're done.
Nice.
That's why it's number 10. It's not the greatest. Number 9, are you a dollar bill? Because you're single.
Ooh.
Oh. Boom.
Low blows.
Like,
Damn. That's harsh, man.
that's pretty
I
brutal.
told you.
Well, I guess my single self is just going to get myself into the G string of a stripper now.
Yeah.
I guess they could be a loony too, right? There's a coin.
Number 8, we need to cover more ground, so we should split up.
Oh,
That's such a Kevin. That's a Kevin.
Yeah, these are a lot of like dad jokey kind of.
Yeah, so it turns out these are all lines Kevin has used in the past.
They've broken up quite a few times. It's okay.
I plead the fifth.
Number 7, did you know that if you take the L out of lover, it's over?
Oh, boom. Damn, that's a catch there.
Damn.
I did not think these up. I just want you to know.
Oh, okay.
I'm taking notes here.
Number 6, hey babe, I think it's time we cancel our gym membership. We are not working out.
Oh man. So many wordplays. I'm
this is
I'm
all
digging
it. Number 5. Number 5, I think we need to become better strangers.
Wow.
Jeez, man. This stuff is brutal.
Hey, if it's making you laugh, it's working.
I know, right? I guess. Get them to laugh while you're torturing them.
Number 4, aside from being single, what do you do for a living?
That's not necessarily a breakup line. It's almost.
Oh, that's a great way to slip it in that you're single now.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I guess you could say that with anything, right? You could be like,
Yeah.
aside from being single, what movie are we watching?
You know that
Right, you just turned it into a pickup line.
Yeah, that's true.
It's almost towards
That's true. Yeah.
towards a person that's kind of a loser and annoying you. Besides being single, what else do you do?
Yeah.
If you use it as a pickup line and then use it as a breakup line, it makes perfect little end caps for it.
Yep. There you go. Long game.
That makes it even worse. Yeah, it's true because you use the pick. Yeah, I get it.
Number 3, I will always cherish my initial misconceptions of you.
Wow.
These are petty, right?
I feel like I've heard that one several times before.
Here's the last 2 are my favorite.
This is brutal, man.
Number 2.
Nobody's breaking up here, and I feel bad for them right off the bat.
Now imagine this. I took this out of a list of 30.
Oh,
Number 2. Hey, babe. I think it's time we take our relationship to the previous level.
Okay.
I got you laughing. It worked.
That's
But
genius.
number 1 for us, anyways. Number 1, baby, are you an angel? Because I'm an atheist.
oof.
Okay. No. Here's my favorite one. I've seen it over the text one where it's like ILY. It's like, no, say it. Just say it. It means more that way. And then they type out, I'm leaving you.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Ooh, man.
Roses are red, violets are blue, trash is dumped, and so are you.
Boom.
Whoa, god damn.
That's a great one for elementary school.
I was more than one to be
I was dumped quite a few times in elementary.
This is not working out, and we should just,
See, gym membership.
blah blah blah. But you guys are freaking brutal with this stuff. It's like, God.
Look at Kevin with his adult conversations.
What is this communication crap you're
I'm
talking
not sure I want to be
about?
associated with any of you evil people, man.
Aw.
I almost agree with the top 10 because, like, I'm just like, look, once like a couple words are said, you both know the conversation already.
So you may as
Like,
well
you
laugh.
really, yeah, you know, you might as well just make it short, sweet, and funny. You know, because what's the point? You know what's gonna, you know what's happening once you say those words. It's like you don't need the whole fucking 2-hour conversation. You don't. It's ridiculous. Waste of
On the
time.
schedule here. Go on.
Speaking of 2-hour conversations,
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus.
You're welcome.
Okay, that was
Brilliant. Thank you. That was awesome.
all right. Anybody else have anything else to cheer us up a bit more than that?
Yes.
Ben, you got something for us?
Yeah,
I do.
No, I
it's
think
time
we
to-
do.
Time to make the things that make you go.
All right, so this guy in Michigan, he's purchased this house, and he has gotten like a house inspection where it said that the cement stairs were kind of leaning the house, needed to be demolished. So he takes out one of the cinder blocks, and he finds out that there's something there underneath. What do you guys think he found under his house? Because
I know this. I'm
Private
going to keep my
treasure.
mouth shut.
Dead body.
No, yeah.
you're not going to guess it if you don't know. Like,
Ghost.
it's just
Of the dead body. What?
no. He finds a bowling ball. Okay, and then he basically starts this Facebook group titled The Bowling Ball Guy, in which he documents the process of removing 160 bowling balls in total from underneath his house.
What the fuck?
It's great filler.
He said that like initially he was concerned that there was some sort of dumping ground, there might be hazardous materials, but he contacted the manufacturer of the bowling balls, Brunswick Bowling Products, and found out that they used to have a plant in the area, and so more than likely that's where this came from.
I'm telling you, someone took it for Phil, right? And
Someone,
used it,
yeah, he used it
store
for
up
fill
your-
underneath the house. Bowling balls.
Insane. Like, could you
He's-
imagine your house starts rolling?
He said some of them were broken, some of them were still whole, but like that's what they used.
Yeah, I did see
He's
that.
the second owner of this house, so the original owner must have done it when they were building it.
Yeah.
That's
It's like
weird.
I could see the boss being like, "Hey, okay, you guys got to get rid of like all these bowling balls, for because we're moving or whatever." And like he leaves, and then he's talking. He's like, "Okay, bro, I don't want to load this shit up. Okay, there's a
No,
hole
he's like-
right over there.
What
do you
No,
say?
I think it was more like I'm about to build a house.
Yeah.
What am I going to fill this crap with? Oh, look at all the busted ass bowling balls that we're not selling. Let me just take those.
Does the article reveal if the bowling balls are in good shape or anything, or they're just like?
Yeah,
No,
some
he
were.
said some were completely whole, but a lot of them were broken.
Oh, okay.
But I mean,
He
after
said he
sitting
found
for a hose.
a grid work of balls stacked up in what appears to be poured sand. So
Yeah.
some were broken, some
Oh,
were
yeah.
completely intact.
So yeah, it was used as fillers.
Absolutely. Was.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely, yeah.
like intentionally because they were laid in a grid work, so it's very clear that somebody used it as a solid filler.
So it's more just like he showed up and was like, "Hey, we're laying the foundation of the house." It's like I got a great way.
We
to
don't got
save
enough
money.
sand, but yeah,
Honey,
Well, you
you're
know-
gonna love this. I got all these bowling balls.
Isn't that
Yeah,
recycling
they're just gonna
of-
drop them off here.
or maybe she just hated bowling because.
Yeah.
So when I lived in San Francisco, my parents had this friend who lived in the city, and he had this really nice, beautiful house there. And he said one day he was in his basement and noticed 3 windows on 3 sides, and then he went outside and there was windows on all 4 sides.
Ooh.
So he got someone to bust open the wall, and he bust open the wall, and there's like a full bowling lane, bowling pins, bowling balls, like antique stuff. And so upon doing further research, he finds out the person who used to live there before was very into bowling. Whenever the dude was home, he'd bowl. So he went out on a business trip, and his wife had a wall built while he was on this business trip to keep him away from the bowling alley.
She walled him out.
I love it. That's a great
Which,
story.
when he came back home from his trip, he used one of Sabrina's lines there to break up with her.
I was just gonna say,
And
and then
then
she
the house
became
was
next.
in the
Actually,
divorce.
there's a line that didn't make it in that was knock knock. Who's there? My divorce attorney.
Aye.
So that's
Okay,
the one
nice
who
day.
used on her.
and then she killed him and buried him in the wall with the bowling balls in the bowling alley.
Yeah, and there's a guy in there, too.
But you know what? It's kind of funny because I always wanted to do that in a way. You have a house and you're doing renovations, and I always wanted to buy like a fake skeleton and put it inside the walls and seal it up. And just let it sit there, and God knows, 100 years down the road, they find
A
the
lot
skeleton.
of people do stuff like that. I see it in one of the.
Yeah, you can find it on the internet. Like I saw one where they put one of those fake skeletons underneath this deck they were building.
Yeah.
And it's plastic, so it should hold up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I've seen several.
But you could say he was killed under the weight of his own balls.
Hey.
He's
Brent,
playing.
I'm ashamed of you now.
Every time there's thunder now, it's a bowling ball in heaven. Brent, you got another brilliant moment for us?
I do. So, Catker is back.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sorry. And I know I drag her out all the time. And
Yeah,
it's like a brilliant moment. I know.
No.
But I
She's
couldn't
easy.
help this one.
Another brilliant moment.
How could you
It's
not?
not.
This
not
one is
fair.
extra special, I think.
Yeah, it was just too stupid to not be another brilliant moment. So, Prophetess Catker says,
Don't tell him what it says. No, we have a video.
Let's play the clip.
Don't-
Okay.
Oh, shall we-
All right.
Don't spoil it.
She said something stupid. Here we go.
Okay, so let's cue up this here video. Here we go. Let's watch.
There is rain in heaven. There is absolutely nothing destructive. There's no earthquakes. Now there are volcanoes, but they're for entertainment. They're for fun. You get to ride the lava out.
Really?
Yeah, you get to ride out on the lava.
You get to ride the lava?
Like, why would you bring disastrous things from Earth to heaven?
Look,
to make them roller coasters or whatever.
I don't know if you've noticed, I don't laugh out loud much, and I've seen this video like 4 times now, and I laugh every time.
So when you have these really long skis and you ride down lavas, which is rolling down at like a 2 mile per hour, and you
It's
just
a
like,
resort.
Okay,
It's the volcano resort.
lava flows down really
let's
slow.
listen to see what else she said.
It wouldn't cause it's not a physical volcano he took from the earth and put it up there. It would still be, it's a spiritual world, the land, the air, everything there is spiritual, but it is it has substance. It's a literal volcano, but it wouldn't harm you. And yes, people can go inside and they ride the lava out for a ride.
Talk about a hot seat, you know.
Ah!
Oh, man.
Oh my God! Funny.
The potato head came up for one.
He finally talks! And
Right?
I must say, I appreciate his joke.
That was
That
awesome.
was a great joke.
But she's not just saying you ride lava flows. She's saying you climb into the volcano, and essentially it explodes, and then you ride it out. Like,
And she's saying that it's a spiritual volcano that's not real, but it's literally a volcano.
but it's literally a volcano. It's not real, but it has substance, but it doesn't hurt you. Okay.
He took from Earth and moved it to heaven. So somebody needs to scour the globe. We have a missing volcano, people.
No, she said he didn't. She said he didn't.
Oh, no, yeah.
It's not like an actual hot
not.
volcano.
Oh,
It's just a cool one that God put up there for funsies.
but it's literally a volcano.
Okay. See, but of all the depictions of heaven, this is the one I like the most. This sounds rad.
I know. Let's go.
It's for all those people from Pompeii, you know?
They don't ride that ride. The Pompeii people don't ride that ride, okay?
Get you over your trauma.
There's a sign. There's a sign outside that says "Trigger warning for people that died from volcanoes."
It's called. You must be this tall to ride it. It's called the Pompeii Pocket Ride. Not Pocket Ride.
Wait, heaven has pocket volcanoes?
The Hot Pocket. The Hot Pocket.
Hot Pocket.
Oh my God!
Which might as well be a
Kat,
volcano.
thank
I
you
mean,
so
let's
much.
be honest.
Yes, that was fantastic.
Did she see what's that face that we talked about the last time? Not Rick Wiles, the other pastor that looks like.
Oh yeah, Robin Bullock.
Yes. Did she see him while she was there riding the volcano?
Hey, Robbie, what are you doing here?
Robin has only been to heaven 3 times, and he went to the throne rooms. Okay.
Oh, Robin, you gotta try
You
the
missed
volcano.
out.
You gotta try the volcano ride, dude.
Do you think she does that? She called up. She's like, "Just rode the volcano in heaven." Ha ha, motherfucker.
I feel like it's like, you know, like when you die in like GoldenEye, you get dropped at that one spot, and you're like, "Fuck!" and you gotta like run. Like Catker would just drop there, and she's, "Nope, I'm out. I'm going to the volcano.
I'm going to the
I'm
volcano." Is it like a theme park? Are there other rides there?
I'm sure there is in their mind.
Right.
Man. I'm sure there is.
I mean, why not a cotton candy mountain or some fucking?
Oh, that's the
Right.
next one.
I don't know.
That's the next video order coming up. The God Candy Mountain. You know,
It's like, turns out
can we ride the volcano today, please?
it's not lava, it's caramel.
You're on a big chocolate mousse.
Oh,
That's what it is.
these people have how many followers? I mean, Jesus.
That's the scary part.
Like, I feel like she's got hundreds of thousands.
No. This is why she's brilliant. She's telling them what they want to hear. This sounds fantastic. This like I said, this paints a good picture of heaven for me. Because before we were all like hanging out in like dumb looking sweaters, just being like, "How are you today, Tom?" "Oh, great, Tom." "Okay, Tom." Now I get a volcano to ride. I'm fucking into that.
See, mine, I always heard that, like, no, you have jobs in heaven. And
I'm a clerk.
no. Yeah,
Wait, I don't
you're
even
just
get to
worshiping
retire in
God
heaven?
all the no.
God.
Because you want to work, and we should want to work. And so that should continue. And then
Yes, I only want to work when the means of production, belong to the worker.
Well, I mean, you're in heaven, so I mean, it's sort of
Everything belongs to God, dude. You're working for the glory of God. When
you
you go on
get
your
golden streets.
Oh.
you get-
15 minutes to ride the volcano.
Heaven is a dictatorship. I heard you. Okay.
But you just worship God all the time. That was like from the way I understood it. It was like everybody's they're working, but they're singing at the same time because
You're
they have
worshiping
to
God
worship.
day and night. God
Sounds like
is
a nightmare.
good. God is
I gotta
good.
work and sing. Do I have like an extra set of lungs for that in heaven?
Maybe.
Yeah.
You can pop your
It's-
lungs and put them on the side, and they can sing, and you can shovel.
Right, just pull out my vocal cords in my lungs, just the whole thing, just set it to the side. Okay.
Yeah. You have a special set of lungs for worship.
Oh my God.
That
This is
lasts
too
forever.
crazy. Maybe we should do a top 10.
That's
You should do a
stupid.
top 10 list for next week. Top 10 list of
Catker.
rides in heaven. Catker
Right.
in heaven. Top 10.
Maybe we can email her and ask her.
She might have a good list for me. You never know. I mean, Catker is definitely a fountain of top
We
10
should-
lists.
Oh,
we should
God.
just get her on the show and just interview her in the
What we
second
really
half.
need to do is
Oh.
get her to move her chair 2 inches to the goddamn
Every time. The angel wings need to line up with her. All she has to do is move over a couple inches and stand up.
Yeah,
That would look rad.
it would.
There is no way in hell Catker would come on this show. And if she, by some miracle she did,
She would never come
no
back.
way in hell we
Hey-
could be serious
Hey,
enough
Kevin, you gotta
Right.
ask her. Reach out to
Yeah.
her. Find her contact info.
to- Jesus.
She might
Just at
serious.
least ask.
Oh,
At
crap.
least ask.
Okay.
She might want to witness to us, man. Be like, hey, we're lost souls just wanting to
Maybe
know
we could
what-
trap her and tell her you were inspired by God to reach out to her.
I'm sorry. As much as I love all three of you, there is no way in hell you're going to make me believe that all three of you is going to sit there silently and listen to her and bubble she spews her
You
bullshit.
can mute me.
It won't be silent.
There's
No,
no
we're
way.
going to be commenting and pushing her on. We're like, yeah, and what else is on the volcano?
It would be so much fun.
What else?
Right, is the volcano normal color or is it like purple?
Blue. Blue's my
Yeah.
favorite. Maybe it's whatever color you want it to be. Rainbow colored. It's rainbow colored.
Rainbow colored lava? Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't you know God's gay?
It looks like oil, really. At the
That's
end of
why
the day,
he sent the rainbow after the flood. God is gay. Tell me.
Oh, so he wanted to save Noah because Noah was hot?
Yes.
Okay.
Buy it? Totally.
The rain totally cooled him
And
off.
How did you only have 2x2 on the freaking ark? It wasn't a boy and a girl. It was 2 boys. That's how they did not reproduce.
I see.
Yeah, sex wasn't allowed.
So Noah's Ark was some weird animal gay cruise?
Totally was. Totally. It was only Noah's son.
No, they had one.
Oh, right.
The new Pixar movie coming out. The Animal Gay Cruise.
We took a left.
Way left. Way
over here at the valley.
Way down there.
We took a left.
And somehow it wasn't Kevin's doing.
I know, right? Amazingly enough.
Congrats,
oh, indirectly it was.
Seriously.
We'll blame him anyway.
Thank you so much for that. Anyway, let's take a quick pause, and when we come back, we'll be talking to Steve Hill about his Satanism. That should be interesting. So that'll be interesting. So stay with us.
Stay with us.
It's where atheists gather. This is LATV 2.0.
All right, our next guest is a black Satanist. Very excited about having that because we had Satanists on the show before, but never a black Satanist. He's a snappy dresser and a snazzy dancer. Mr. Steve Hill, welcome to Left of the Valley.
Hail Satan.
Let's put our large applause.
That's right. Hail fucking Satan.
Fantastic. Oh, man. I'm so excited to talk about this because, the funny thing is we don't get to talk about Satanists too often, and certainly not black man on top of that. And you got to explain a lot of things to me, and we'll dive into this. But before we get into all this mess, maybe you'd be so kind to give us a quick bio as to who Steve Hill is.
Oh, Steve Hill is a little black kid, descendant of slaves, descendants of sharecroppers, then put into the ghetto of Northside St. Louis. Crazy. Wow. Moved out of the ghetto just in time to graduate high school and go straight to the United States Marine Corps.
Oh.
My family has a long military history. We have people who fought in every war back to the Civil War. My father fought in World War II. My brother fought in Vietnam. I have another brother that's a retired Marine. And I myself did about 5 years in the Marine Corps. So, yeah.
Not a guy to be messed with.
Oh,
that's
shit.
That's awesome.
Once a Marine, always a Marine. I mean, they named it after me in there. Devil Dog, that's me.
Yeah, nice.
You see my picture on the wall, fucking Marine Corps recruit depot in San Diego. It's a Devil Dog. All right, so I got out of the Marine Corps and went right in to LA, went in aerospace. I was a machinist.
Wow.
Worked on some pretty interesting materials. We were making parts at the time for the stealth bombers and fighters and the F5s or whatever they're.
Where they're at.
2000 now.
Northrop puts on there. But the stealth was the big thing. And, I worked on computer numerical control machinery, very precise, very, working in tens of thousands of an inch on exotic metals and shit like that. These really exotic metals like titanium and all kinds of special carbon heat treated bullshit as parts. And I got sick of it. So I decided to go and do 10 years in state prison as an officer.
Okay.
Yeah, don't judge me, goddammit.
No.
Don't judge.
I know what you were thinking.
I felt that setup coming.
You can't judge Satan. So, yeah, man. That was very, very interesting endeavor. A lot of black people in prison. I just put it like that. It's a lot of black people, and I was, I basically worked in 2 different maximum security state prisons through the 90s. That mean most of the people were in for like selling crack, marijuana, out of Los Angeles, because CSP LAC, which is one of the California State Prison, Los Angeles County, is one of the prisons I worked at, and of course with all the highly saturated gang activity that that brought along the crack epidemic and all of that, it was very disproportionately full of black men. That was my first impression of the state prison system. And then I learned how to be a good officer after a while. After I found out how the job, you have to like respect people and treat them with respect, and you're not the you're not the bringer of additional pain. Their incarceration is their punishment. The officers weren't there to continue punishing the inmates.
Yep.
So after I learned that, and earned a lot of respect. You have to earn respect working on a prison yard. And I worked out on the yard where all the inmates were. Used to have a lot of weight piles and fights and riots and shit like that, extortion, rape, everything that you can imagine. You guys just don't know. Everything that you can imagine that they show about all these prison stories and TV shows, lockup and all that shit, it's worse than that. Because if you gotta go into work every day and see it, it's I think a lot of politicians need to walk on the prison yards and see how many, the disproportionality and who's locked up in these prisons.
And why?
In a country that, especially lately for the last four and a half years, all you hear about is freedom, our fucking freedom. And we lock up more people than anybody in this country.
Oh yeah.
Not only that, we have like millions of fucking descendants of slaves walking around, and all I hear is fucking freedom all the time. That shit gets frustrating.
I can see that. Yeah.
Understandable.
Absolutely.
Yep.
But let's go further. Let's go further back. Let's go back to little Stevie when he was this cute little kid.
Yeah.
And
it's a young buck.
A young buck. Even before being a young buck, was the mini buck.
I was just a sperm.
We got that far.
I was swimming, right? And
swimming near the ovaries while.
I'm just glad I didn't get swallowed.
That's right.
Could have been a whole different podcast.
You came out of a certain faith. I would assume you didn't.
Baptist. We were Baptists.
Oh, okay.
We went to West End Mount Carmel Missionary Baptist Church, and it was like the most ghetto church you ever want to see. It was all kinds of sex scandals and fights. I went to a church, a fucking fight could break out in church. That's
really
that's awesome.
All kinds.
That's so much better than what
people shouting, and I'm like, what the fuck is into you? What has gotten into you that you got to shout and bounce around and scream and dance and run? What the fuck is your problem? I had a problem, and that's when I started, and I was about 8. That's when I started looking at all of this religion as being bullshit.
I was about to say me.
I never believed any of it. And that was around 8, and I remember one service was one of those goofy ass after church services. It's like, bad enough you fucking make me go to church on Sunday, we got to come back for a fucking service in the evening. I'm like, anyway, I was supposed to do this poem. It was only like 3 lines, something that an 8-year-old could handle without fucking it up too bad.
Like a haiku.
Yeah.
If I was a black Japanese, it would have been a haiku. Anyways, I just memorize these words, and that's all they were to me, words, because I knew I didn't believe like none of that shit. I had tried to read the Bible, and I'm like, man, this is thee, thou, though. Like, we don't talk like this no more. Why the fuck are we listening to these people that talk like that? So I read the poem, pulled it off, as a good little young Satanist would. I just, after that was the point, the defining moment in my life when I knew that religion was not going to be something I, tried to study. It's like, no, I don't need nobody to tell me how to think. And basically that's what it was to me. People kind of like a control mechanism, or a conduit to the person you really are. I mean, it's so much contradiction, so much bullshit in the Bible. It's like, how could anybody, operate their lives, their existence by this book, this ancient comic book?
That's a great way to say it.
I want to explain something here, because Brent Lee and Benjamin are in the U.S. with you, and they understand the whole black and white dynamic you guys have here. Sabrina and I are Canadians. We don't have this black and white problem up here. I'm not saying racism doesn't exist, but I'm saying there's not a lot of huge numbers of.
Eastern Canada has a much larger black population.
In Toronto, around, and they seem to have a lot of Jamaican immigrants. But for the most part, I will see a black person 1 in 50, maybe. They're really not that common. Wow. And I love smiling at them because it's hey, cool, got a black person, and they probably think, that guy give me this goose grin every time I walk. But,
hey, a black guy.
No, you
weird.
It is. We are very much.
Can you dance?
But yes,
we have much more Indians, for example.
Indian and Chinese,
and
we
have a lot more of that.
Korean, Japanese.
We don't have a lot of black.
A lot of Eastern Asia.
Yeah. So I find it amazing, because this is a world that I don't understand as much as I really want to understand.
Your white privilege is showing.
No, I want to understand his perspective, right? Yeah. For me, I mean, for example, he was talking about he came out of a Baptist church. Now, we know historically the Baptists and the Baptist church was incredibly pro-slavery. So what is it like to be a black man in the Baptist church? That, to me, is fascinating. And I'm hoping you can answer some of these questions.
Was it Southern Baptist?
Hey, fuck, I don't know. I lived in Missouri.
Yeah, you smart.
Missouri.
I'm Midwest Baptist.
I don't know.
Midwest Baptist. Yeah, I didn't get into none. I really didn't get into none of all the denominations. It's like church is fucking church to me.
I agree.
So yeah, yeah, that's good question. You got
I don't know. Maybe they have Southern Baptists in Canada. I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
no, everything in
They
Canada is
consider
northern.
Pentecostal.
They've got Mormons there, guaranteed.
We do. Yeah. There's actually a Mormon. It's called Bountiful.
There is, but you know what? The Mormons the same way. For example, every time there's a knock on the door, 9 times out of 10 it's a Jehovah's Witness. The 10th time is going to be a Mormon.
Yeah, but if it's a Mormon, they're coming to ask to shovel your driveway or whatever.
And they'll do it. I'll tell you that. If they offer to do something, they mean it. They'll do it. Let them do it.
And let them do it. Yeah, it makes them feel better. It gets your driveway all
I don't want to
good.
take advantage of them. I don't want to.
But they think it'll get them into heaven. Like, let them.
Let them do the thing.
There's a kid on Facebook. He's like, I'll come and do your shit. Don't worry, it'll be free.
All right. Hey, derailed here. So Steve, like all of this, you reached 8. You were like, this is all nonsense. But then what brought you to Satanism in particular?
Oh, what brought me to Satanism was actually I was doing a show at a conference, performing at a conference in my beautiful hometown of St. Louis, Missouri. A guy by the name of a friend of mine by the name of Thomas True was conducting it, was running the whole show. And I guess you guys call them Lucian Greaves or something like that.
Yeah, Lucian Greaves. Yeah,
he goes by Doug Messner. That's his real name. Hope you don't mind that, Doug.
What? My world is shattered.
Yeah. Anyways, we had a mutual friend. Her girl that lived in St. Louis I was friends with on Facebook, activist, was white girl, wasn't afraid to talk a gang of shit. And she's still like that. But anyway, she kept nagging me, telling, no, you need to be a Satanist. You need to be a Satanist. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Let me introduce you to Lucian. Let me introduce you. And we met and we took a tour. It was not too long after the riots in Ferguson. And we toured, took some pictures and looked at the damage of what angry people in the ghetto will do. And we talked, and I was like, wow, you guys, this is pretty cool. After I found out, went to the website, found out what it was about, read the 7 tenets, looked at some of the activism they did about putting up the statues and monuments of their fucking godly figures and 10 Commandments and all of that. It was in Oklahoma. And I was like, wow, these people, because, I'm a political guy. Mm-hmm. And I was like, these are like legal, organized atheists with like activism hooked up with the fucked up legal system, and they're using it against them. It's like the most major kind of trolling you can do. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm like, fucking, I'm down. And we left that conference, and I went back to LA. And we had spoke. I said, wow, we got a chapter in LA? Let's get a chapter going in LA. I didn't know they had like 3 people that were the nucleus that was just setting it up. And I joined with them and, started doing Satan's work. I love it. Satan's work. We were doing rituals. We did one at the City Hall, City of Lancaster. I got some tape. I wish I could show it to you. I recorded it. I mean, we had these fucking Christian people coming out angry, chanting with signs and fucking, it was a gang of them. We went to give the copy of the 7 tenets to the mayor at City Hall. And boy, I don't know how the word got out, but man, it was so many religious, and I would say the predominant number of them were Mexican or Latino, Hispanic. Really?
So you just want to send the video, I'll drop it in.
Yeah.
So that conference you went to, was that Skepticon?
Yeah. That was it wasn't Skepticon, but that is in Missouri too. It was Gateway to Reason conference.
Okay.
Reason. I think he only did it like 2 years. I think he did it twice. Because I went and performed both times.
For the benefit of our audience here, you talk about the seven fundamental tenets of.
I'd love to hear.
I have them here in front of me, so let me read them off.
Yeah, let me tell you right now before you start. I like number 4, and when you get to number 4 and you read that one, you'll know why I like number 4 the best.
Yes, I do.
There we go.
Number 1, one should strive to act with compassion and empathy towards all creatures in accordance with reason. Sounds way better than thou shalt just
Not
believe
kill.
my God, right?
Yeah.
Number 2, the struggle for justice is an ongoing and necessary pursuit that should prevail over laws and institutions.
Agreed.
Very reasonable, yeah.
Sounds like I'm a Satanist. Keep going.
Number 3,
Can't disagree with that.
one body is violation. Yeah, inviolable. Subject to one's own will alone.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, the freedoms of others should be respected.
Yes.
Including the freedom to offend.
Absolutely.
To willfully and unjustly encroach upon the freedom of another is to forego one's own. Yes.
Love it.
I totally understand why you like that one.
Yep.
Right. As a satanic comedian, politician, I'm going to always retain my right to piss you the fuck off by telling the truth.
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
That's why I like number 4 the most.
Yeah.
As my late father would say, your rights end when the rights of others begin.
Yep.
Right.
Number 5, belief should conform to one's best scientific understanding of the world.
Mm-hmm.
One should take care never to distort scientific facts to fit one's belief. Again.
It means wear a fucking mask. That's what that means.
Yes, it does.
Oh yeah. God damn it.
God.
Jesus.
Oh, wow.
Number 6.
Sounds like we're Satanists.
Yes.
And get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Number 6, people are fallible. If one makes a mistake, one should do one's best to rectify it and resolve.
Right. Admit it and move on.
Yeah. Oh, now did we lose Kevin?
Do we?
In action and thought.
Oh, he's back.
The spirit of compassion, wisdom, and justice should always prevail over the written or spoken word. There we go. These are the 7 tenets.
Yeah, and you know we were discussing the different variations and iterations of Satanism.
Yeah.
And this is where me and the Satanic Temple, we don't really disagree, because I agree with all 7 tenets. They all make logic, reasonable tenets, but it's a little too complicated for me. I'm the kind of Satanist where I just have one tenet. Don't be an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Simple.
And it really encompasses all 7 of those. And just
There you go.
3 words,
Yeah.
4 words. Don't be an
No need
asshole.
for extra verbiage or drama. Just don't be an asshole.
Yeah. It's really not that hard.
I don't know. I think that's discrimination against the sphincter people.
You can sit in your house.
Discrimination against the assholes.
Now I'm gonna be getting emails from the asshole community.
The asshole.
Hey,
yeah.
man. Look.
Let assholes
We
live.
have the
Look,
right to-
assholes are for eating.
Again, no kink shames here.
No restrictions. No restrictions.
If I want to take up 7 seats on the subway, that's my fucking right. Okay.
No, you're an
I have
asshole.
all my bags.
No, that would make
Put them
you
all
an
around.
asshole. That would make you an asshole, and you're already screwing it up. Be kind, be nice, be thoughtful, be compassionate, be considerate. It's not that hard.
It's not, but for some reason.
Steve, a couple of weeks ago, we interviewed a pastafarian, and I was surprised by the fact that in his faith, the flying spaghetti monster was a bit of a placeholder for an actual kind of a nebulous force that he sort of believed in. You know, he couldn't really describe it, but he was using the flying spaghetti monster as a placeholder. Is it the same thing with Satanists? Or do you guys actually literally believe in a satanic rebellious figure, or is it like a placeholder for something?
We believe in the adversarial characteristics of our faith.
But if you go,
being an adversary, the bringing of light and information, and just being opposed to the power structure.
Mm-hmm.
Right, he's a Satanist.
Power structure is.
But you're not a contrarian just for the sake of being a contrarian either.
No. It's some life experience behind what I do.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, totally understandable. So essentially, you and your colleagues, it's not like you guys literally believe in an actual
devil.
There's no actual devil.
Do you really?
No.
Do you really think just by talking to me?
No, of course not. I'm just clarifying.
Yeah. Okay. Let me clarify this. There is no devil.
Yeah. Exactly.
People. Hey, man. No, I run into some people who identify as atheists, and I run into them, and they get creeped out because their mind has been mentally conditioned to think and conjure up all these horrible images of what Satan is, and eating babies, and fucking people in wheelchairs and all kind of stuff like that.
Fucking people in wheelchairs.
But that's the thing is it's
horrible
with and in. Yes.
It's Satanists, not devil worshippers.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's
two very different things.
Satan, Lucifer. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
The devil. For black people, the devil. None of it is too. It's just I just believe in humans. Just you, the power of what we do, what motivates us, where our hearts are. Do we want to help others, or do we want to acquire all of this materialistic bullshit that we're gonna leave when we die, or do you want to help your fellow man?
Yeah.
What you want to do?
Straight up.
It's that simple, and we don't need any symbols or idols to worship to have that mindset. you can do it just by talking to each other and understanding each other and having peace first. Let's stop killing each other.
Yep.
Right.
Let's stop with the wars. Let's have the cops stop killing black men.
No.
We're in a lull right now, but trust me, we'll be getting killed again. Watch.
Oh yeah.
That's because COVID is killing all the cops right now. Have you seen the numbers? Like, the numbers have almost doubled the number of cops, and the highest number used to be gun violence. Now it's COVID.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. This COVID thing has thrown off a whole lot of people. I mean,
No, the next
there's people probably waiting in line to start doing school shootings because they're opening back up again. I mean, you probably got mass murderers fucking in counseling right now. I ain't got nobody to kill. I can't find a big crowd.
So the next conspiracy theory is probably going to be that Satan sends the COVID virus to
kill the cops.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of the fact that all cops are just bastards. And anyway.
See, wait, stop.
Don't want to get
Stop.
Uh-oh.
This is where I have to interject.
There you go.
Listen,
Got him angry.
That's okay.
Don't speak that way about law enforcement, about the cops, because they're not all bad.
No, the system is.
Yeah, the system is fucked up, and the political condition that feeds the fuel for that law enforcement force, that entity.
Yep.
Is basically politics, because all of the politicians align themselves with law enforcement, use them to get reelected, and they will never say nothing bad about law enforcement, even when law enforcement is fucked up. You won't hear all the politicians in my area. They haven't said nothing about law enforcement, and we have the Department of Justice there right now, a monitoring team, because the LA County Sheriff's Department is so fucked up. I have a case against them right now, myself, for $1.1 million.
Wow.
Yeah, I appraised real estate, and I had a cop track me down to my house like I'm some kind of fucking runaway slave. He saw somebody in his neighborhood saw my license plate, and my license plate reads "For Satan."
Oh, yeah, that helped.
And I appraised real estate. I was actually shooting his house for a comparable property for the subject property that I was appraising. And one of his neighbors saw me, and I don't let people see me. I've been doing appraisal too long, like 18 years. I don't let people see me, raise the camera up and start taking pictures. You got to answer too many questions and when you're a black man doing that kind of shit in the neighborhood. So I've developed techniques where I'll put my camera under my arm and my left hand on the steering wheel, and I'll shoot the picture, and I'll use my whole truck window as a viewfinder. And when I get home, if I'm off a little bit, I'll just crop it. No big deal. So this guy, I guess, told the cop I was looking at his house, and about an hour later, this guy shows up at my house asking me, where were you 45 minutes ago? What were you doing there? And I took a picture of him. I wish I could load this shit. I took a picture of him with a short 2-minute video. It was a live photo. And what I was saying was, wait, let me get a picture of you, because ain't nobody going to believe this shit. And I took a picture of him. And, I tried to because I was actually a candidate for state senate at the time, and I was actually going to try to be nice and just go into the sheriff and let him know, like, hey man, one of your officers came to my house, trained the motherfuckers basically, and I got kind of dissed. He didn't even call me, so I went to an event where he was speaking at, and tried to speak to him. I raised my hand. He asked, anybody have a problem with the sheriffs? I raised my hand, and he told me to go to a fucking website. Everybody in there was like, why would he have to go to a website when he's sitting right there?
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, I got to get in the system now. I got to file a formal complaint about this fucker coming in my house asking what I was, what am I doing on his street, basically. And I've been in court now. And this is a whole different injustice that people don't know about. This shit happened before George Floyd was murdered. I still don't have a hearing yet. And
Mhm.
Derek Chauvin is sitting in jail. I still don't even have a hearing yet. Paid my attorney, retainer fee, I think it was like $4,000. That was like at the beginning of the pandemic when I didn't know if my business was going to collapse or not. Fortunately for me, I'm making more money than I've ever made.
Good for you, man.
Real
But-
estate is
Oh, yeah.
crazy right now.
Yeah,
So,
real estate.
yeah.
Real estate is nuts right now. That's why I'm in Vegas trying to take a break. But yeah, it's going to be interesting because I'm getting, and I have a lot of friends in politics, and I talk to them like, hey man, the sheriff did, and they're like, oh man, I'm sorry that happened to you. That's horrible. And I'm like, why don't y'all do something about it? Y'all know we
You're
got a problem.
fucking kidding.
Yeah, no, this is serious, and this shit. This is one of the reasons I'm running for Congress right now, because I'm going to expose what a black man has to go through to complain about law enforcement.
Good.
And everybody's going to see it. I'm going to be dragging my. I got text messages, I got video. I don't know if you guys know Mike Garcia. He's currently in office, Congress right now. He was a Trump supporter. He voted all kinds of horrible. He didn't want to give the cops medals. He didn't want to fucking certify the election result. I mean, he voted against, like, he was the biggest Trump supporter in the world. So for one, I'm getting ready to eat his ass up on that. And then I got some text messages for him when I was trying to ask him, like, let me just speak to Maxine Waters because I kind of know her.
Mm-hmm.
Give me her number, tell her I'm trying to reach her. And he never would do it. And he knew I was going to complain about the sheriff's department because I pretty much got them caught in a lie. And then let me tell you guys the kicker. After I told them what I was doing in the neighborhood, they came up with a lie saying, oh, well, his wife saw you. And I was like, well, if his wife saw me, but they don't know this yet because we haven't had a hearing. I said, if his wife saw me take a picture of the house and she was in her house, she would be in my fucking photo. She's not.
Logic and reasoning, how dare you?
So yeah, so how did you see me? Which is, I just want to expose, this is what we go through to try to get justice. And this is the same sheriff's department, mind you, that shot and killed a dog of mine in my circular driveway about 10 years ago.
Wow.
Total pleasure killing, man. It was horrible to walk out and see your dog dead. 2 cops shot it, and the dog wasn't even chasing, didn't bite nobody. Total pleasure killing.
Yep.
And from that 10 years all the way up into the shit I'm going through now, the same problem exists and persists. There's no accountability in law enforcement.
Yeah.
It's the
And
system.
that's why we have such a horrible relationship. Go to these hyper segregated black communities where redlining really had a negative impact on housing for blacks and upward mobility and building generational wealth. Go to the ghettos and look at all of the animosity between law enforcement and black people. It's like that for a reason, because we can't get fucking justice no matter what we do. I mean, think about all the people, all the black people who can't afford to go throw $4,000 at an attorney and say, here, I want to file a claim. So they just live with all of this animosity and hate and fear and evil thoughts every time they see law enforcement. And that takes me back to saying all law enforcement isn't like that. Because I wore a badge. I worked on the prison yard, and I after a while, I learned how to respect the job. I learned how the inmates should be. I learned how the officers should be. Fair, firm, and consistent is what they teach you. And if you stick to those 3 words, fair, firm, and consistent.
Yeah.
And boy, for about the last 8 years of my career, that's exactly what I was. And I used the word sir a lot. I spoke to the inmates using sir. And you would be surprised how that just automatically, kind of drops the tension between inmate and officer when you show some kind of kindness or respect to them.
Because you show them that you see them as a human also.
Yeah, you're not dehumanizing them. You're not calling them a piece of shit or an idiot or a retard, which are a lot of words that go around the prison.
Oh yeah,
prison. You know, basically idiot a lot. Idiot and fucking idiot was kind of like synonymous with inmate. But
if the system could be torn down and rebuilt, then the world would be a better place.
Yeah, but then just like everything else, it's going to become politicized.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, the politicians will steal what they need to get elected.
Yep.
And that's what happened. What has happened to our country now is because after 9/11 and when good old George W. Bush stood on that pile of rubble in New York and professed to the world that these people are going to hear us, and he was surrounded by law enforcement and firefighters, and there's the fucking flag, and they were screaming him on. From that time, Republicans have commandeered law enforcement, the military, and law enforcement, military, and firefighters.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that was subtle, happened over a period of time, but now, like even to me today in these current times, just looking at the American flag is almost looking at a Confederate flag. Because all of our shit has been politicized, and it's like, we got flags and God bless America on our fire trucks and our police units. And it's like, wow, these about those Trump voters, about 1/3 of the country is really some fucked up individuals. Yeah. And we all need to come and realize that. And we need to have a conversation about it. We need to talk about these people. But I'm sure if they could, they would probably own slaves.
Well, you know what, Steve? If that doesn't work out, you're always welcome to come here to Canada. We got an open invitation for you, my friend.
I don't think your border is open.
Actually, we are allowed Americans into Canada.
Okay. Oh, good.
I'll tell you what. When Canada weed gets as good as weed in California, I'll be there.
That's a good metric. That's a good metric.
Yeah, I gotta protect myself.
Yeah, you import our BC bud.
No, I know Canada. I used to. I was in California for a long time. You've been able to grow your own, and I used to scan the sites looking for seeds. To try to grow my own, which I did it one time, but it was like, I'm never doing this again. It's like fucking babysitting.
Yeah, it is.
So
you gotta get the spray bottle.
It's cheaper to buy. It's just cheaper. Fucking lights on, lights off.
Yeah, the lights.
Yeah.
Have you seen this trend of people making bonsai trees of their marijuana plants?
Yeah, it's called low stress training, and they make some big ass plants.
Wow. Yeah, but
so Steve, I gotta ask. I gotta ask for a black man to come out of a Baptist church. Now, from everything that I hear and everything that I'm told, religion and Christianity is huge amongst black families. That must have been difficult. I mean, how
was it difficult?
Well,
was it difficult for you to come out?
Let me just say this about that subject. Hope is a very strong word. Hope. I mean, if you think about it, everything is built and predicated on if you have hope or not. If you don't have hope, it's no use to continue. So when we were slaves, when we got here, what religion did we take? We took the religion of the same people that owned us because they told us that this shit gives us hope. What else did we have? Yep. We didn't have nothing else. We had nothing. So with their religion, we had hope. Remember, you're gonna go to a better place after you die, but for now, you my slave. So I'm like, hope. That's why I like 90%. That's a Pew Research number. About approximately 87% of African Americans believe in some kind of God or deity or some kind of faith. And that's a big percentage of your people, and that's a heavy external influence on your development as a child and growing up, when you've been mentally conditioned to just continue to hear devil bad, God good, going to heaven, gonna see everybody. I mean, come on, you're gonna see everybody that has died in your family. You'll be reunited with them in heaven. And people believe this kind of shit because it gives them hope.
Yep.
Well,
And
hold on, Steve. You shouldn't dismiss. We just saw something about a volcano ride in heaven. That sounds really fun.
You didn't see that.
You get hope, and you get to ride a volcano ride.
That sounds like something Satan might have to check into.
Yeah.
A volcano?
Curse possessed by
That's like a chocolate fountain to me.
Yeah.
Satan's version is a little different. You sort of melt as you're anyway. It's
Anyway. I have to agree with that it does. Christianity gives hope.
It does. Well, yeah,
a false sense of hope. I shouldn't say it actually gives hope.
Hey,
but.
why do you think, listen, folks, why do you think everybody wants to come to America? Because America is the fucking manufacturer of hope.
Yeah.
You come to America, if you work hard, you're willing to get exploited for your labor or whatever gift or talent you have, and a little luck, you can make it here.
Yeah.
I mean, I made it out of the ghetto by any means necessary. I made it out of the fucking ghetto. So these people who are like foreigners that come, they come with a fucking dream.
Yeah, and they're gonna work
and hope for a better life. These people coming from Central America where they're getting killed, murdered, maimed, raped,
we're looking for the American dream now.
Sex slaves. They hope. They're looking to come to America because I'm sure for generations they've been seeing people in their family, cousins, whatever, going to America, and they're giving them pictures and photos like, ooh, that motherfucker got a car. Shit like that. We have hope in schools and a very good system that's conducive to having some kind of quality of life, a standard of living that's, far better and exceeds whatever they can think of in where they come from, their situation. So yeah, hope, man. That's what black people, I'm sure. Because why would you worship the same God of the people who owned you? It makes no sense.
No, it doesn't.
It makes no sense. And they give us the Bible. If they really thought that they were going to give black people something that was going to empower them, like maybe freedom, why would they give them the Bible? And you think that your master is trying to do something to help you?
Especially when the Bible talks about buying and selling slaves.
Yeah.
Right. And slaves obey your master. We know the fucking greatest hits. Everybody knows all that bullshit.
Greatest hits. I love it.
Yeah.
And then you get these people, as we talk about, we get these people who always want to go back to, the Arabs had slaves, and fucking in Africa, slaves had slaves, and it was just fucking all slavery all day, all long, and that's so why are you talking about slavery here? I'm like, the slavery I talk about is specific to this country.
Yes.
I give a fuck less.
Right.
They didn't
But
do
also-
it the way the colonialists.
But also, bringing up slavery existed. Like, people used to shit in chamber pots. I shit in a toilet now. Which one's better?
Right.
Yeah. Just because it happened doesn't mean it's okay.
Right.
Yeah,
And they don't.
that wasn't okay either.
That's the problem now, is that everybody people want to ignore this horrible history of the building of a great nation that gives everybody hope. The whole world comes here for hope.
Yeah.
But the people want to diminish the negative impact that slavery had on black people. Like, get over it. So what? That happened. It's like, no, we are still gathered in these hyper-segregated communities where there's no economic tax base, there's no resources, the schools aren't the greatest, crime rates aren't the greatest, and it's all due to our country. Our country, in the 1930s, is when redlining really started, but it didn't really kick in until the GIs came back after World War II, and they start building the Levitt towns and these suburban communities. And the FHA said, Federal Housing Authority, do not lend money to black people. We're not doing that. If you have blacks moving into your community, into your new development, you're not going to get funding. So that's basically state sanctioned racism.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And it's generational because it kept you in a fucked up situation. And the media and the people that don't care for black people have demonized us to a point. All you have to do is think about all the times that the thugs in Chicago, they're killing each other. They're, you know, what? Why can't you guys do anything about that? The blacks are killing the blacks. It's like, well, our government set up that condition, that situation.
Yeah. They've made the word thug such a dirty word that I almost just don't even want to say it.
Yeah, I know, huh? It's almost like saying nigger.
It's real close. It's real close now. I almost just don't even want to use the word at all.
And it's weird that there's like it's especially with conservatives. It's like there's this weird like line drawn in the sand, and it's at exactly temporally 1963, right? Or 1964. You know, in that area. And it's like, okay, everything that happened that was bad can be blamed on racism, right? But before this line in the sand, and then everything after that line in the sand, now we're gonna put that blame on black people. You know, like they just like, and they're like, oh, that magical fucking line, you know, shifts the blame from this to that magically. You know what I mean? And it's incredible, you know, the lack of critical thinking when it comes to that concept specifically.
Yeah, but that whole thing goes with an entire bundle of bullshit that would be anti-Christian like, you know, like loving and caring and compassion for people who have less than the least of us. Mm-hmm. You know, when it comes to certain people, the least of us is just fine for them.
Yeah,
they don't need shit no way, you know. And they're like Trump. Trump always yelled and did his carnival barking about the black unemployment rate. The black unemployment rate is the lowest it's been in history forever. The black unemployment rate, and all I can think of is, wait a minute, dude. We were brought here to work. We were brought here to work. We shouldn't have a fucking unemployment. You know? That shit should be constantly zero. If you're qualified for a job, goddammit, you're hired if you're black because you were brought here to work. Yeah, we weren't brought here to be a fucking first round NBA draft choice. We weren't brought here to sell fucking millions of records like Michael Jackson and make videos and dance and sing. We were brought here to work. That was it. So fuck the unemployment rate. We should
and that's crazy too, because it's like, have you seen the jobs? Like just because you can fill a like, okay, basically all you're saying is you've made the desperation like so high that a ton of people are forced to like have shitty jobs, and like you can number that.
It's gone from poor to
you know what I mean? Like that's all that means. Right. Like, is you've made the conditions so untenable that everybody's like forced to have multiple jobs. Yeah, you know, a lot of times because
I'm hoping that the labor rates and just the overall general condition and respect for labor, I hope it recalibrates itself right now during this pandemic. Because people are starting to realize that, you know what, even at $15 an hour, my life is fucking worth more. You know, think about when people are working for $7 an hour, $8. What's the federal minimum? $7.25.
$7.25, yeah.
And think about when people are doing. It's like my life is worth more to me. You know,
that's an hour. That's
an
hour of your life.
There were people that are busting ass for $7.25, like working in a kitchen in a fast food restaurant, and then the pandemic happened, and then they realized they could get an online job making $12, $13, $14, $15 an hour. They're not going back.
Right.
Well, I'm glad.
And you know what? That is the very reason why building that wall, that immigration, it'll never happen because America needs that labor. They need people to keep coming here so they can be exploited. And I live in Southern California, so I can talk for fucking 2 hours about immigration, Latinos, undocumented workers, Home Depot, Lowe's. I can tell you every community where you can go at 6 in the morning and hire undocumented workers, and everybody knows it. It's not even a fucking secret.
Oh yeah, I'm in Texas. They actually made a gazebo thing for them to wait under in one town I used to live in.
Oh shit!
Which was nice of them, but you know.
I mean, it's human. It's human. I like that. It's a human trait and characteristic of someone that would have that kind of thoughtfulness to know that this situation exists for real.
And it's not going away.
Are humans, but to play this big game with building a wall and all the politicians are for it and they all know that, especially where I live at, the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, because our Hispanic population has grown so much. I think we're at like 57% Latino, Hispanic, and they know that economic force that they bring, that economic power that they bring to the community, because they do have their own businesses.
Yep.
They know on one hand they're full of shit, then on the other hand they show people only what they want them to see, like the dumb Trump voters. They don't know that the Republicans love the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and don't give a fuck if they speak English or not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've got video of being at a presentation that a state senator and an assemblyman, friends of mine, I know them well, I could text them right now. They gave a presentation to the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and if you spoke English, you had to wear a device that translates for you. They did the whole thing in Spanish. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? I mean, do you do one in Swahili for black people? I mean, what? Ebonics? And it's like, you guys are so full of shit. And that's another reason I'm running for Congress, man. I'm getting ready to expose everything I can. Then I'm going to retire from my business in a few years and do comedy full time.
Oh,
I love
hell
it.
yeah.
Sounds like a plan. Steve,
yeah,
go ahead.
thank you so much for being on the show. Really appreciate your time and everything. But in final parting question, what message do you have out there for the budding atheist or the budding Satanist, or even the budding doubter or apostate in the black community? What words of wisdom will you tell this person that might be listening to you right now?
First thing I just tell them is, you're not alone.
Good man.
That's the major.
That's a great message.
The major deterrent from people being able to freely express their non-belief. And that comes with that, and knowing that you have support comes a lot of freedom, because you're not like mentally fucked up like your family might tell you, like, oh, what the fuck, you God is good every day, I got the blood of Jesus all on my shirt, all that old dumb shit. You need to, and I wish one day I could have a Black Satanist convention right here in Vegas.
Who knows? Maybe we'll make it happen.
With everybody that think like me. Maybe I should pray to Satan about it.
If people want to find out more about what you're doing or you run for Congress, where can they find you?
SatanForCongress.com.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
Yeah, the website is being built, but if everybody can just I already got the website, Satan for Congress. And that's also my email address, also steve.hill@satanforcongress.com. You can email me there.
Perfect.
And I could it's nobody in the chat, but I would put it in the chat. But yeah, if anybody wants to get a hold, if anybody wants to volunteer that have any kind of artistic talents, because I'm doing my campaign literature right now. I'm building the website. And, I got a lot of stuff that I'm gonna put in there, and I'm thinking, because I can't trust the cops in my area, and I don't like all the gang members, and it's hard appraising real estate in the first place, but doing it while you're black is a totally different thing. So I might be asking for, when I do my press release, I might be asking the state of California for protection. Like I'm in the witness protection program or something, or the whistleblower. That's how much information that I have to expose.
That's intense.
So you guys just stay tuned.
Mr. Steve Hill, thank you so much for being on the show. Before we let you go, though, I gotta have you say, hi, this is Steve Hill, a black Satanist, and I took a left to the valley.
Hi, this is Steve Hill, the black Satanist, and I took a left to the valley?
Close enough. Good enough.
Is that what you said? What did you say?
Left at the valley.
Left at the valley. Close enough, my friend.
Left at the valley. Now, wait a minute. You just can't leave on that. What the fuck does that mean?
It's the name of the
podcast. Wait a minute. A left at the valley?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, we broadcast out of the Fraser Valley in Canada, so it's the valley.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
we kind of lean left.
Not the valley in LA. That's
like, damn, what do you have to do in San Fernando?
Beautiful place.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to clear that, you would have told me that at the beginning. I would have had a really nice one made for you with the
we prefer when it's on the spot because it shows how humane and how
everybody's human.
I don't want a show that's fully scripted and polished and everything. I want to see the real person. Right?
Yeah, we love it.
Wow.
We fuck up all the time.
It's also easier. It's also easier to edit. Let's be real.
Steve, thank you so much for your time, my friend. I really appreciate that. And that was Mr. Steve Hill, a black Satanist running for Congress. Isn't that interesting?
I think we could have talked for at least another hour.
Oh, at the very least.
We could have kept going.
So many subjects. The funny thing is that the conversation didn't really revolve so much about Satanism.
No, but
revolved
it's great
a lot more about black politics, essentially. And I think
that's an important topic, so I think that's good that we do that.
Yeah, he's fighting the good fight, and I've got nothing but admiration for a guy who does that, and good on him. And like you said, if you want to email him, it's steve.hill@Satan4, So email him, get involved, Satan4congress.com if you're down there.
In California.
He's a guy who's obviously very passionate about fighting for the
black rights.
For black rights, and not just black rights, but just rights in general.
Rights in general, but you know what the reality is that the black people are very oppressed in the States, and it needs to change.
Yeah, exactly. So
they're the canaries in the coal mine. So if you make it better for the canaries, it's better for everybody.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for Mr. Steve Hill being on the show, and thank you to my co-hosts Sabrina, Brentley, and Benjamin, and thank you for listening. You can follow us at leftofthevalley.ca. You can follow us on Facebook, on Twitter at LATV Podcast. You can send us an email at leftatvalley@outlook.com. Send us some of those. We'd love to read them on the air. And you can become a patron on patreon.com/LATV, where you get an unedited, unscripted, completely raw audio version of the show with lots of
video version
with lots of behind the scenes
video,
stuff like that. What am I saying? Give us a 5-star review wherever you find us. It helps us and helps others find the show. Brent, you want to say something quickly about Unapologetics there?
Every Wednesday at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, check out the Unapologetics spelled with an X panel stream. And we just hang out and have fun. It's a great time. Come on out.
Perfect. Coming up next week, we'll have the Native Press. Roy Dahl from the Native Press will be talking to us about the First Nation issues. We'll have the Deacon version of Nathan Brown. We'll have the Steve Grumbine with Modern Monetary Theory. That should be interesting. We'll also have Dr. Todd Frank Miller talk about critical thinking. And we'll have Mary B. Lepage talk about religious trauma. So we've got lots of great stuff coming down the pipe.
Big lineup.
Anything else I need to add?
Have a great week.
Oh,
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Have a great week, guys. Until next time.
Science promotes mystery. I'd rather seek the truth than to bask in my own ignorance. Rather be alone than surrounded by damn idiots. As long as there's a breath.
That's rocking out.
Fighting this problem.